number 14 is a proposed amendment to the 2010 budget regarding the proposed acceptance of a grant from the New York State Dormitory Authority Community Capital Assistance Program, otherwise known as CCAP, for citywide security camera system. City Manager, you want to say something about this?
Just that the police commissioner's coming up. I think the locations that we have here are tentative. We would meet with the bid. There has been a offer from the folks that reside in the Bloomingdale's building that they might want to contribute to cameras in the lot, Prospect Street lot. So essentially all we're asking the council to do is accept the grant, and we would come back when we refine a final list of locations and just send that to the council for their information as to where these cameras would be located.
Questions from council? Councilmember Trangucci.
Commissioner, just a quick one on the capability of these cameras. I mean, police will have what kind of access?
Well, the goal is to really expand on this. If we buy 15 cameras, we hope eventually we'll have 35, to include places like Costco, Home Depot, even private schools, or anyone like municipal housing that has cameras, to incorporate the whole system into being able to be viewed by the police if they want to be on that network. In other words, Chicago, what they do, if there's a job dispatched, let's say 120 Pelham, and there's a camera there, the dispatcher can actually bring up that camera and look at the street and see what's going on as they dispatch, and be able to tell the car coming, people just ran out of the building, or a blue car just left the scene, something like that. So there's great potential here. It really goes back to the FCC and what's going on with the 700 megahertz. And are they going to give it to the police, or are they going to bid it out and have it private, police sharing it, and so on? So when that happens, there'll be great potential if they make it available nationally to the police to be able to use more and more camera.
Will the police officer in this car have visibility too?
They will have visibility depending on the quality of the camera. They'll be able to bring up certain areas. We'll have a record of it probably kept for 30, 45 days, each camera.
I just want to clear, just so there's no misconception. We will not have somebody sitting in police headquarters monitoring 15 to 25 cameras. We will have the ability to bring it up, as the Commissioner said, if we get a call, or if it's on a laptop in the car on the way to a call. We will also have the ability to maintain the videotape of an area if something happens, and then we can go back and look at it. But I don't want people to think that we're going to have a program where somebody's going to be sitting there looking at everything, because that's not doable within our given resources.
No, but the point is, which is good, is that if a resident calls about a certain situation on a certain corner, when it's called at the front desk, that front desk person can now call that up if there's a camera there, correct?
If we get the system working that way.
Right, get the system working.
And we hope that a laptop in the police car can also bring it up. So
we're hoping the laptop will be able to also bring it up. Let's suppose an officer wants to watch the Prospect lot. So he may be able to bring up those cameras on his laptop 5 blocks away and sit there and just watch it for an hour, see if anything's going on.
Very good.
So that's the potential.
Councilmember Stowe.
Yes, I'm not sure who it's directed at. You indicated that we're talking about strategic locations. How do we arrive at this location, and why in the world is not one of our infamous areas that tend to have more antisocial activity than any of these areas not on the list?
One of the reasons the Dormitory Authority wants, pretty much with the application, we said that the cameras would be installed on our property. They would require for each property that was addition, they would, we would have agreements with each property owner going forward with that. I mean, I think that that becomes quite cumbersome, and as the Commissioner had alluded to, I think this is an initial step, first step, to look at particular areas in the city, our entryways, and, in certain points in the city, looking at traffic, looking at particular areas of the city, and then adding on to the system.
Okay, I understand what you just said. When you say on our property, that means like a telephone pole?
Yeah, like a light pole.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have many light poles on Horton Avenue. And we've had repeated incidents on Horton and Brook. Again, help me understand, for public safety, and you indicated that was one of the reasons here, why in the world have we not included that?
Well, it's not a final product. We have to price out these cameras and see how much they're going to cost and the best quality. We have to put it out to bid. Some of these cameras may end up being $7,000 a piece. We only have 200,000. We got 15,000 from the bid, and the initial idea was to create a camera system for the downtown and also at the exits of the city to monitor traffic and vehicles that we may be looking for, and there's some around schools, I know. And then from there, we hope that we can build on it, like a community, let's say like Lana, may come to me and say, we have money for 2 cameras, we'd like to get in the network. Okay.
Yeah, that's not going to happen in Atlanta, we know that.
Well, we're not
may I
talking
make
about
a
a lot of money, we're talking about maybe only $5,000.
That's a lot of money. For that area, for Atlanta organization, that's a lot of money. May I suggest that you reconsider that area, specifically on the basis of security?
Well, we will, but the idea is, when you put a camera up there, it's fixed on that location, and if it moves, you can't keep going up, moving cameras all around just to follow where the action is.
I understand.
In other words,
That's the case on all of them.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that on Union, I'm sure.
short
We
answer
can
is
do
yes.
We can do it all over. But we'll
consider.
Yeah, I'm just a little puzzled, because that is a very active area.
I believe there are cameras now on certain areas of that.
Yeah, well, Housing Authority, that's on their private
Right,
property.
on their
That's a
property.
private issue.
Like I said, this is a preliminary list, and it's a good point. We'll take a look at it.
Okay, good, thank you.
Just one more quick one.
Sure.
And that's a good point. Once a camera is fixed, like you have on Union and Second Street, once a camera is fixed in a position, we won't be able to rotate that, is that correct?
Some will,
Oh, some will be able to
yeah,
rotate.
depending on the cost of the camera and what you're trying to accomplish.
And I also would say, with our application, we have to determine and specify to the dormitory authority where these cameras are going to be located. Each and every time we move them or something happens to them, again, that's something that we would have to get, approval from the dormitory authority. They're this $200,000, and they're agreeing to these particular, whatever sites that we specify.
One more thing, is the rotation 360 or is it just 180? Or we don't know that.
They have both.
They have both? Yeah, that's good. Very good, okay.
As far as Zoom as well, and I'm saying, depending on how much we're going to have and how much you're going to spend on each camera.
Councilmember St. Paul?
Has there been any thought to purchasing dummy cameras also, and putting those up? For example, there are locations, and not that we should publicize what each dummy camera is and which live cameras there, I don't think we should do that, but there's locations, for example, in the West End that are areas of constant dumping, that if you improve the lighting and put up a real or dummy camera, may discourage that type of behavior.
Yeah, we have a camera system for that. We have that one alerts, and we've used it, and I think we still have it available.
Oh, wow.
Where it
I'll
takes
give you
a
the location.
It takes a picture,
Oh.
and it tells the person you're in. We used that in Ward Acres, I think, when they had some problems up there and a few others.
Well,
That's another easy solvable issue with,
okay, so if I provide you with the location, you can,
I think so, yeah.
okay. But I think that would be, and then maybe replace these dummy cameras with live cameras later on, but not, in certain areas, I think it would discourage some type of behavior,
Oh, yeah,
for example,
yeah.
dumping. So I think, if we look at providing dummy cameras in certain areas, that would probably be good. I know some private, like Walmart uses them.
The main thing is to get cameras that work. We've seen what happened in the city where they have half their cameras aren't working,
Right.
so they're no use.
They become dummy.
They're dummy cameras in a sense, but people don't want them. They want
Why don't we
cameras that
install
work.
cameras that don't work?